struggle with constantly scrolling on social media and not knowing when to stop? Are you burnt out or you're so scared to take a social media break? Or do you think you have a phone addiction? Well, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Haruna, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to properly take a social media detox. I'm going to tell you my own experience with it and how it has benefited me. So sit, relax and enjoy this video. First of all, I want to talk about my own personal experience. I'm a beauty and lifestyle content creator, which means I'm almost always on my phone. I also work in 9 to 5, which is also content related, so I have to always be online researching, finding ideas and doing all that stuff. So getting away from my phone was a difficult decision for me, but I realized that I really needed to do it. In 2023, a lot happened. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I was falling sick a lot. I was so burnt out. I was exhausted almost all the time. And starting the year, I really wanted to start strong. Despite the fact that I knew that my body was weak, I wanted to keep on going. But you know what? I just realized that I couldn't. Honestly, it took a while. It took a couple of months for me to actually get to a point where I was like, I have to rest. I have to take this break. If not, I'm not gonna survive this. It was a difficult decision for me. And I woke up one day and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be on social media anymore. I'm just going to go away from there. And I actually wanted to rest in God, honestly. So I become so tired. Everything was not flowing easy for me because normally I'm a social media girly, so it means that I enjoy what I'm doing, right? But I didn't enjoy it anymore, and I just realized that, is this really it? Is this really what my life would be? Why am I struggling so much? I actually didn't understand it myself, but now looking back, what was happening at that time was I was burnt out. If you're someone like me who is an overachiever, sometimes you actually don't know when to stop and rest, and that was my situation. So I wanted to keep on going and keep on going. And with content creation, you have to be consistent. You have to show up all the time. So I really wanted to just keep on showing up, trying to put my best foot forward. But the truth is, I was delivering content, but I knew that that was not the best for me. That was not my best content because most times I was functioning from a place of exhaustion. So I decided that I wanted to take that break. If you're not sure if you're experiencing burnout or not, well, here are some signs that you would experience that will tell you that, this is what you're going through. So the first time for me was the feeling of exhaustion. Like I said, I would sleep and wake up and I'm tired. I literally did not want to do anything. I literally did not want to go out. Things that were really exciting to me just did not make sense. I would want to lay in bed all day. I did not want to go to work. That feeling of exhaustion. And it was just not physical, it was also mental as well. I didn't want to think about anything. I was just tired and exhausted, honestly. And most times what would take me maybe an hour to create a content, it would take me 3 to 4 hours to create. Sometimes I would set up the lights, I would set up everything, but by the time I sit down, I don't know what to say. I don't want to do it. I was just exhausted, and I think that was one of the signs for me that made me realize that, okay, I think I need to stop. Another sign for me was isolation. I didn't want to talk to a lot of people. I started to isolate a lot. I started to stay indoors. My family was not seeing me. I wasn't talking to them as much. I just wanted to be by myself, be in my own thoughts. And for me, that wasn't a good sign, because if you know me, you know that I also talk a lot. So whenever I isolate, I know that something is going on with me, and I just had to push. I tried intentionally. I would try to relate and all, but it wasn't coming easy for me. I just wanted to be by myself, and that was another sign for me that made me realize that something is really going on with me. Another thing for me was that I didn't enjoy the things that I would normally enjoy. Normally, I love to create content. I'm always taking pictures, taking videos here and there. I like to go out. I like to hang out with friends. I like to gist. I like to watch YouTube. I like to watch movies. All of that stuff was not interesting to me. I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to, I felt like I wanted to sleep. I was almost always sleepy. I started to have eye bags. My eyes were always heavy. I became very lazy. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't eating. All of that stuff. And I'm like, what's really going on, God? I really need to be extremely productive in this time, but it seems like, despite the fact that I'm trying, it's just becoming harder and harder and harder, and I knew that I needed to pause and relax. Another thing that had happened for me was also that I started to have a lot of negative self-talk, and social media became a chore for me. So instead of scrolling through social media and feeling inspired and motivated to want to create, I started to look at it and be like, oh, you know, people are creating but you're out here feeling all lazy. I started to call myself lazy. I started to say, oh, you know, I'm looking for excuses not to create. And you know, it's just being hard on myself, honestly, because I knew that I could do more, but at that time my body was declining. At that time my mind was declining. I couldn't bring myself to do much more. So I remember that I stumbled on a page on Instagram and I saw this video where the lady talked about, you know, learning to trust in God and resting in Him. And she had explained that, you know, she was in a similar situation. She was burnt out, she had difficulties bringing herself to work, and she had to take a social media break in a time when it didn't make sense. She's also a content creator, so I mean, she could relate and I could understand what she was going through at the time, because I was currently in that situation. So she had to, you know, turn back to God and, you know, rest in Him, even though this was a very difficult thing to do, especially because, you know, her content was going far. It was, you know, a peak period in her career, and it just didn't make sense to rest in the time. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's what I need to do. And I also wanted to, like, you know, spend more time with God. I also wanted to, like, you know, hear from God and rest in Him, because for someone who likes to be productive all the time, you struggle with resting, and that was a big problem for me. So I decided that, you know what, I'm going to go on the social media break. But then I had to ask myself, how am I going to do these things? Because I work on social media. My 9 to 5 requires social media. What am I gonna do? I remember that she also talked about a Bible passage, Proverbs 19:15, which basically said that, you know, we humans, we have our own options, we have our own plans, but then it's God's plans that prevail. And for me, I'm a planner, right? I like to write about things, or I'm gonna achieve this by this time and all. But most times I just realized that, you know, it's the will of God that prevails in the end. And I had to, like, pause and relax, and I'm like, oh, despite the fact that I've planned my entire year, despite the fact that I have timelines that I've set for myself, I have to really pause and ask God, what is it that you want from me? What is your will for me? Why am I struggling? Because I don't think we're meant to suffer. I think we have God, and everything we're supposed to do is to flow from a place of ease. I mean, God is not saying that we wouldn't struggle, right? But He's saying that He's going to be with us, right? And I just really felt like God was calling me to relax and rest in Him, and I really needed to do that. So yeah, I'm going to be telling you how I achieved this, right? For someone who is a social media girly, for someone who is always addicted to a phone. So how did I do this? The first thing that I did was I deleted my social media apps. So for me, I knew that if I was going to say, oh, I'm going, leaving social media and all, I might see a reason not to go. So I actually didn't even give any warning. I just woke up one day and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to be on social media anymore. I started to do that slowly. It wasn't like, prior to that time, I mean, I wasn't almost always online, because I mean, I wasn't creating. If I'm not creating, I didn't want to be going online, so I'm not feeling like, you know, I'm not being productive. And also at that time, my social media level had decreased a bit, but then I didn't want to, like, tell anybody that I was leaving full time, and it was going to take a while, because at the time I wasn't sure if it was going to be a month, 2 or 3. I just wanted to leave, and I said I was not going to come back until I feel like I am more calm. I feel like I'm at ease. I feel like I'm flowing from a place of ease. I think that was a major thing, because I was really struggling. I was really troubled, and I just really needed to rest and have peace of mind. So I took time away. So what I did was I uninstalled my Instagram. I'm not so active on Snapchat, so I uninstalled that as well. Did I? No, I don't think I uninstalled that. I think I just stopped you know, posting streaks and all of that. I didn't uninstall that. I uninstalled Twitter. I don't have my Twitter, so I don't really care. I uninstalled my TikTok. Yeah, that was a difficult one to uninstall. I'm not on Facebook. I mean, I have a Facebook account, but I mean, I don't even open the app for a month, so I didn't really care about that app. What are the social media platform? YouTube. So for YouTube, I actually did not uninstall that. Reasons being that I was taking classes, and there were certain things I was learning on YouTube, and I was like, you know, while I'm away, I actually still want to be learning these things, so I might not go off YouTube. But yes, I did reduce, like, you know, watching vlogs, you know, following up with my faves and all of that. It was more of, you know, watching educational content and all of that. So for my work, I also need to, like, you know, be creating for their social media platform. So what I did before this break was to brainstorm ideas for a month worth of content. So I scripted this, I planned it and all of that, because I spent so much time scrolling and trying to look for these ideas. But after putting them aside, I knew that, oh, you know, I was good to go, because I already knew the video content I was creating, so that was easy for me. So whenever they sent something that was, you know, social media related, I mean, I would check through my friend's phone or through my laptop, but it wasn't through my account per se. You understand? Like, I wasn't posting through my account, nothing on my own stuff. It was just if the need be, like if it was very important, I would ask my friend. If it was very important, I'll use someone else's phone, or just use there's this other account that I have on my laptop, so I just use that. So that was it for me. It wasn't the easiest thing to do, but yeah, I just had to do that. Another thing for me, because I'm almost always on my phone, was I also try to, like, you know, keep my phone in my bag or not always be around my phone all the time, because I wanted to, like, you know, just put that aside and really stay still. Really, not just stay still and not do anything, like just sit on the chair and not do anything. No, I don't mean that. But I didn't want to be anxious about anything. I didn't want to be worried about what anybody is posting, what anybody is doing, what's going on in anybody's life. I just wanted to, you know, spend time with myself, understand what's going on, find a solution to why I was feeling the way I was feeling, right? And for me, I felt like my phone was a major contribution, so I just, like, you know, put that aside. Another thing that I also did was I also, you know, informed some of my friends that, oh, you know, I'm not going to be on social media as much, because my friends, like, you know, send me stuff and we gist online and all of that. So it started to become a concern, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I might not be online for this time being, this is why, and all of that. And some of them respected my decision. Some tried to talk me into posting, but then I gotta put me first. So yeah, the first few days when I started my social media break, I mean, I did mention that I struggled, right? You know, I would want to sleep a few times, and I think that's why uninstalling the app was very important for me, because before I think of installing it back, I'm like, oh, you said you're not gonna do this. So what I did in the time being was I started to pay more attention to myself, which I said. So I was, you know, studying my Bible more. Taking the social media break for me honestly made me feel more at peace. I think I benefited from it more than I imagined, because first things first, I got to spend time with myself. I got to really understand myself. I got to, you know, take off all the anxiety, all the pressures of life and all of that, and I just got to be. And you don't realize that in just being, you actually get more productive, honestly, because you're, like, when you wake up in the morning, you're not scrolling through social media, you're not checking anything, you don't really have so much to do, you're not meeting up with friends and all. Your mind is automatically thinking, oh, you know, what productive thing do I need to do? I started to think more. I started to, like, you know, brainstorm ideas more, because I really needed to, like, you know, my brain just needed something. That's just the truth. My brain just needed something, and I think that's what happens when, you know, you quiet all the noise around. Just become your most inspired self. That's just the honest truth. You just become so inspired by the little things around you. All of a sudden, I would want to clean my room. All of a sudden, I would want to maybe do an exercise. All of a sudden, I want to take a stroll. That's because the distraction of scrolling on social media was not there. Another thing that I also benefited from taking time out of social media was also the fact that I became more present. So I was more present with my family. I started to gist more, started to hang out with them, because I mean, there's no phone, which is supposed to be my distraction, yeah? So I started to, like, you know, converse more, started to have conversations, and that just, you know, we got to build memories, we got to, like, you know, do things together. And also with friends that I got to hang out with, we actually, like, I was more present, so we're not sitting at restaurants and I'm scrolling through social media. We had more intentional conversations, and that just made sense to me. For me, another benefit was I also was not exhausted anymore. So I would go to bed and wake up and I'm not feeling tired, I'm not feeling exhausted. I would wake up feeling energetic and trying to figure out, okay, what do I do today? What do I do today? How can I make today a good day? How can I be more productive today? And that just made me super excited. And I was looking forward to actually waking up, not because I was tense or not because I was anxious or worried about anything, but because I just knew that, oh, you know, it's gonna be a good day. It's just gonna be a good day. I'm so confident in that. Taking time off social media and spending time alone also boosted my self-esteem, because I also spent it with God. I was reminded of who I am in Christ, and that helped boost my self-esteem, made me more confident that, you know, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I just need to come to God. I just need to rest in Him, and God can give me all the ideas that I need. He can give me the strength to do all that I need to do. I actually feel that everybody needs to, you know, spend time with God first. Go through a social media detox, you know, just go on a retreat or just spend time away from the noise, and you would benefit from it. Trust me, you're going to benefit from it. I think it would help you, like, you know, not be on your phone 24/7. It would help you tune down the noise. It would help you become your most inspired version. It would help you have a good relationship with your family and friends, and overall physically, mentally, you know, you would feel more at ease, you would be happy, you would just function from a place of rest. So if you're still doubting if you want to do a social media break, trust me, this is your sign that you actually need one. And when you come back, you will feel more refreshed and you'll be able to be more creative and productive than you were before the break. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe if you've not joined the family, and also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Miss Shazzy. And I also opened a new TikTok account where I vlog daily, Sarah's Diary. Until then, see you in my next video. Bye.